Robert Keeley here.
Eddie Heinzelman here.
All right. When you came by the shop, that was magic.
It was a lot of fun.
It really was, because I don't think I had in mind that we were going to do a pedal, much less two.
No, it was just a visit and a tour and to hang out.
It was pretty cool. I was going to go and see you and Radney play, and then pedal development started.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, you know, we did this special thing with the hook reverb, and we came up with a couple reverb modes. You said they need to be in one package, and that's where we started putting the pieces together for the Veratr.
Yeah, it sort of was, like I said, a classic combination of effects, and it's the effects that I use the most, reverb and tremolo.
Yeah.
And so it just seemed like if I could have it all in one unit, you know, it would be the dream.
Reverb and tremolo is kind of the perfect end of your pedal board setup, you know?
Yeah.
Having those things there.
It sure is. And it's, you know, just like, again, those classic amplifiers of old.
Yeah. So I remember mine was a Blackface Fender Deluxe reverb. Is that where you first experienced those two sounds together?
Mine was a Silverface.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And man, what a magical sound.
It really is. And again, it's a staple of country, rock and roll, you know, all kinds of music.
Yeah.
So
it is great. So one of the things that you brought into our world at Keeley Electronics is the Mac mode. And I wasn't overly familiar with the stuff. I knew the name, I knew the guitar, you know what I mean? I knew the image, but I didn't know the sounds that well. Tell me, when you first experienced that pitch vibrato, what did you think it was? Did you know it was the amplifier, or did you think it was him?
Well, it was strange because originally I assumed it was chorus. When I first saw Lonnie, he was playing jazz chorus amplifiers. It was later in his career, after his resurgence, so to speak. But early on, he was using Magnitone amplifiers. And once you find out that Lonnie was a huge influence on Stevie Ray Vaughan, and you go back even further, Lonnie really was one of the first rock and blues guitar players to play that fast single note soloing.
Yeah.
And but he came out in 1963,
right
before four guys from England, you know, hit the U.S.
The timing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Little thing called the Beatles. So tell me about what you think about the harmonic mode.
The harmonic mode is my favorite.
Me too.
It's my favorite effect ever. Is that early '60s harmonic tremolo. It's called vibrato on those early '60s amps. Leo knew what he was doing, I think. It really is one of my favorite sounds ever.
Yeah.
And you capture it exactly.
There's a certain emotion that goes with that sound. Like, I think that as it switches back and forth between bass and treble, something happens exciting there that makes it feel right for a guitar. I don't know. I think it's a very emotive effect. You know, you're implying something. I don't know. It just works so well with guitar.
Well, I agree. I think there's a phase element, you know, a phaser element to it that is kind of sits really nice with guitar. But you're right. There's something when it's combined with that throb of the tremolo, and it's just full and warm. It adds character without being over the top.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. It adds movement without pitch, in this case. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you have something swaying, something playing along with your guitar notes, but it's not necessarily the pitch in this case, so it is a lot of fun.
And like I said, that's kind of my most used effect, along with spring reverb. And then the fact that we put all three in one pedal just is, you know, tops. Yeah.
Well, I couldn't stop there, right? Then it got really exciting. Then it's like, wait, this is a great concept. You know, this is something that everybody kind of needs that plays in a roots or rock band or country band or blues band. These are the staples. These are the things that they accept. You know, for the guys that have a chord and an amp, that's it. You know, this is something that they would dig because they might not have it for backline or what have you. But then we couldn't stop. We did the workstation version. You got the royal treatment.
Right.
I mean,
it's one thing to have one pedal, and then of course to come out with two.
And so this one's got 8 different tremolos, vibratos, and then 8 different spring reverbs, plate reverbs, halls. It's got our the one that sounds like steel drums.
Fugue.
The fugue setting. Yeah, I love it. It's great stuff.
I love the fugue because I use that because it has octave up and down. I use that to replicate string parts.
Yeah, it is great. Or you can do a Hawaiian type of thing or a reggae type of thing with it.
Right.
You got all kinds of options there. So there's some great fun stuff in there too with the reverb settings. But no, I like the ease of use. I like the fact that you can blend in some of the tremolos so that you can have an all wet thing, or you can have a blend with the pitch stuff. It makes it kind of fun. Then it becomes a chorus then.
Well, and again, as we're talking about, the standard pedal and being kind of classic tones, based on classic tones, then you take this up a notch. Even this one, you can make it sound very classic, vintage, or you can stretch the boundaries with it. It goes faster, it goes deeper.
Exactly.
And then, of course, with that one, you've got even more options. You've got the tap tempo, you've got the morph knob that changes parameters, and it's an amazing piece of work.
So what I like about this is that if you want just reverb for the night, you just turn the tremolo off.
Right.
And then you got your spring reverb, or you can get inside and you can make it a plate reverb. If you just want tremolo for a particular thing or for a particular night and you don't need reverb, say your amplifier's handling it, there you go. I just love how simple it is to be one or the other or both.
Right.
I love it.
And I like that your idea right before this, went into production is you have the dip switch on the inside where you can choose spring or plate.
I know.
Because one of the things that I do a lot, I use this for acoustic and electric. I like spring on electric, but I love plate with acoustic guitar.
Very smooth and,
yeah,
it's hard to beat.
It lifts the sound a little bit, even EQ-wise a little, it's a little brighter type of reverb. And it just sits really nice and clean with acoustic guitar. Yeah. So I use these on both acoustic and electric shows.
That's great. That's what I was hoping for.
And the other thing is, a lot of times people don't think about this. You're talking about using it on or off or combination. One effect that you can use, I use a lot, and I have some friends that use a lot, is you turn the tremolo way down, but leave it on. And again, it adds a fullness without hearing the throb of that pulse.
Right.
It just, again, lifts the guitar a little bit, adds a little thickening, a little something vibe to the tone of the guitar that,
I think it's clever sounding when you hear a little bit of tremolo and you're like, did he do that with his volume control? Did something happen there? That is a pretty cool thing. So then with the workstation, you get twice the amount of audio processing.
Sure.
With the workstation, there's 2 DSP processors in there. So there's one dedicated completely to the reverb and one dedicated to the tremolos and vibratos and the modulation stuff. So then we have an extra level of sophistication that we can add. You can control the parameters of the decay and the pre-delay and things like that. And with the tremolo, you got the blend control now, and then you can control filter ranges and all kinds of stuff. So there is a reason. It's not the exact same effect between them, but they're designed to be real similar.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And like I said, you can do the things with the workstation that you can do with this, but of course you've got the extra expression insert. You've got tap tempo. It's
a lot of fun. So you can have expression and then tap tempo, or there's an onboard tap tempo right there.
Yeah.
So which one do you use generally when you're out on the road with Radney?
So I use them both. I've been using the regular Verbatrem on my acoustic board. I've been using this on my electric rig. And anytally, when I do some fly dates, this has been my only pedal after my overdrives. I'm not taking any more delay pedals or anything, because this has a delay on it as well.
Yeah.
And even though it's a short delay,
slapback.
It says slapback, but it still goes up to I don't know 150 milliseconds or something like that.
I think 180 is what we like
180,
to use.
yeah, and that is long enough that it will give you an eighth note repeat. And so if you're trying to do a delay that's just a little fuller, not a big ambient kind of thing, that's you can use the reverbs for that.
Yeah.
That delay works great. So for my fly rig, this has been my only modulation
That's great.
pedal.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's pretty cool. So you can get the Veratr or the Trem Workstation online at our website, robertkeeley.com, or dealers worldwide. But I'm really proud to say that we offer it on tour with you. I think that's a cool place to pick up a pedal.
Yeah, I really appreciate
Yeah.
being able to do that. It's
Very cool.
it's pretty exciting to use it live, have it on recordings, and then when people come up to me after shows,
They're like,
and
how
go,
did you do that?
Yeah, what does that sound? I
Yeah.
go, it's
Where's
the
your
Veratr.
Leslie cabinet? Where's your rotary
Right.
speaker? You know, where's your
And I have them right over
collection
there.
of amps? Yeah, that's great.
So you can find me at Eddie H Music on Instagram and Twitter, and Eddie Heinzelman on Facebook. EddieHeinzelman.com is my website. I'll have these available at my shows, so you can catch my show dates and tour dates on my website, and I'll have these there.
Thanks, Eddie.
Oh, thank you, Robert. Thank you so much.